Hey, it's exciting. I'm glad you stopped by. Thank you for stopping by and joining me. Um, I want to communicate with you all just to give you some momentum throughout the day, help you along the way. Just thank you for just stopping by and just listen to some of the things that I want to do. I think I'm going to move a little bit into my truck. And as you can see, some of you all might have just got up, and some of you may have already been up. That's why you're watching this video. But right now it is dark, as you can see the background. So what I'm gonna have to do is get in some light because I want to be able to get this message to you, get some uh, skills to you and some strategies and your place of thoughts of things that will help us to better relate to each other and to communicate. All you out there that are entrepreneurs, like I say, you are entrepreneurs, real entrepreneurs, not just something you just thought about overnight. Because if you continue watching my videos, that means you are serious about being an entrepreneur, about being a leader. Just trying to find some information, and what I want to do is a lot of my information is trying to transform your mind. That's what I want to be able to do, because the scripture tells us that we have to transform our minds. And not only that, spiritually but physically we also have to transfer our minds, and so we can have a better train of thought. We can get to along ourselves. And so a lot of times I had to do that for myself, and so that's the reason why I'm bringing you these tips, because a lot of the things that I have learned along the way, God has taught me a lot of things. I own none of this information. God has placed me in front of people or listening to people, and I have just took this information and held on to it, and now I'm giving it to my audience, and I appreciate you for just listening. But some of the things that you all know about me already, that I'm a distributor, a wholesaler. I sell snacks. That's what I do. And I'm always giving some momentum throughout the day. I'm talking about vending service. I'm talking about things, but sometimes I have a train of thought, because I want you all, as being leaders, being able to continually transform your mind so you can have a better thinking thought and open up your mind and just let God lead you into doing some things, and not always uh, listening to things that's going to take you off course, because you have to stay on course about being an entrepreneur. You can't be running from here doing this and doing that. Like I always told you, you got to be consistent. That's the main thing that I do, is be consistent. You have to schedule yourself. You have to write down things. Hey, I'm going to keep putting this into your mind, because I want you to be able to catch hold of this. Because some of the things that I'm telling you, I have to do it for myself continuously. And it's not easy. It's not easily when I roll up this morning to get up and to be on time for work, even though it's going to be dark. Some people in my neighborhood are asleep. I'm probably the only one in my neighborhood gets up this early in the morning, and I'm up. I'm rolling. I'm sticking to my schedule of doing the things that I need to do. Scheduling myself, putting things in perspective by having things directed to me, is written them down. And a lot of some of the things that I have put down and put it in a scheduling of myself, I don't need no notes anymore. It's just brain in my mind. It's a pattern that I have learned in myself to help me to get to that point. It took years and years to be able to do that. Is me getting up in the morning, having all my lunch ready, prepared from yesterday. Night, I prepared it, my clothes ironed, and then I am have my smoothie and all that stuff ready, and I do got my coffee perking, and in position. My sack's already packed and ready for it to just take it off and go get me some water to drink. And I'm on the go. I start off with exercise in the morning, but before I exercise, I begin to talk with God, listen to some messages that God want me to listen to. And it's a pattern of some people that I listen to each and every day just to keep me in position, lined up, and focused. Because in the morning, you have to listen to some things that's going to be positive to you so you can be able to grow. You can't be getting off course, listening to little random stuff. Find you something that you're going to listen to consistently and stick with it. And then sometimes you may get off that pathway because it's time for you to grow in another elevation. So God is taking you to a different elevation. But some of the things that I want to talk about is our mind thoughts of thinking. Sometimes God is working with us because we have seeked the kingdom of God, and God has put things in our mind to help us to grow physically, because sometimes it's not always about us. Sometimes God is using us to help others, the same way that God is using me to help you all. So and we are helping each other grow, by you leaving comments and say, hey, what about this, talk about this and that. So we have to have a mind changing, thinking different. We can't always have that same stinking thinking, because God cannot work with us. God has to transform us. And so when you transform, a lot of the things that you are doing, you're not going to want to do them all the time until God is start working you, and then you begin to say, man, you know what, God, thank you for just changing my thought of thinking. So sometimes God gives me things, just explodes in my mind, and I'm like, oh my God, you are so good. I can't believe this. I've never thought about this on my own. And because you are leading me and I'm being humble, and we have to be humble in the things that God has gifted us with, because all this stuff that God has given, God has gifted this to me, and I am using it to share to you all. And it's not on my own. God has gave me things. And so not only do we have to change our thinking as being an entrepreneur and being a leader, we can break that down a whole lot more, but we have to have strategies in our strategies. And on another video, I want to break this down a little bit more, because I want to be able to get this video out to you, because some of you want me to hear some of the things I have to say. And so I had to cut off from some of my studying real quick and to bring this revelation to you. And so sometimes we have to, like I said, once again, strategy. God give us strategy. God allows us to prepare for things. Once He has transformed our mind, God has given us strategies in order to be able to do things in the world. Because like I said, a lot of the things that God's teaching us, it's not about you. I thought about Steve Harvey was talking about his life as being homeless, and he was wanting to go fishing. And when he sometimes only thing he had was to go fishing, so he went fishing, kept a pole in his vehicle because he lived in his car, and he went out and started fishing in people's ponds and stuff, just fishing out. And people say, hold on, wait a minute, what you got on that hook? He say, throw it back in there. So he threw it back, the fish back, and then they didn't know exactly that was his meal for that day. He was going to do that fish and cut him up and eat him. And so he began to ponder in his mind, change his thought, and say, man, one of these days when I get older, I want to own my own pond where I can go fishing and relax, do the things I'm thinking. And I'm pretty sure God was talking to him and thinking to him, and he was imagining things, and this is what we have to do and doing these things. But in his strategy of once he did own some land, and you can go back to listen to some of his testimonies of things he talked about, he got this land and this pond and all this stuff in this big lake, and he thought he was going to be going fishing out. And guess what? That switched around. The strategy of what God had for him and desire for him is he brought a whole bunch of boys out there and used that to help them out. So it wasn't about him. It was about what God had in plan for him, to give him the desire to go out there to fish and God used it for him to bless other people. So that's what I'm talking about, the different strategies. Sometimes it's not always about us. God has strategies and things that he's going to do for us to help us along the way to help other people. Not only that, it's revelations. It's God's will that God give us different revelations. And we have to, sometimes we can be sitting in our thoughts and God is giving you these things. And sometimes you have to take hold to them and use these revelations. And so that is the number 3 things that I want to talk about is thinking, strategy, and revelation that God has given us. God give us these 3 things. And there's many more things that God is going to give us. And so I'm giving you a few points because I can't hold you all day on this video because you got things to do. You got to get up and go to work, So I thank you for taking this moment, these few moments. And like I said, a lot of times, if you want to just go back and re-listen to some of these things, just plug your earphones in. And I'm not asking you to just continue watching, but just listen to some of the things throughout your day. Some of you are truck drivers or riding and driving all day, going to different places. Just plug your earphone and just listen. But some of you, you just hang around not doing that. Pull up a chair, get you some Java and a glass of water, and sit and say, hey, let me see what this guy has to say to help me along the way, to motivate me, to get me into a momentum. So I talk about momentum because momentum is my word. Momentum, and I try to keep it daily, is looking forward to go forward. Not only to go forward, but to elevate, to keep a momentum going and continue going until I can get a faster speed pace. Look up the word momentum. And so you may need that word. And I have got this word from numerous people, and I use this word for my word for each year, and it helps me out a lot. So thank you all for joining me. If you all don't know, some of you may just have joined in. My name is Kirkland. My business, Stewart Snacks. So come along and join me. Take time out to know when my videos come is by liking or sharing or either subscribing to my channel. So thank you all for joining. You all have a good day. Hey, look, remember, keep pushing, keep the momentum going. Hey, people are dependent on you to make this happen. So make it happen. Don't be laying around, hanging around, doing all these things and just killing time. Procrastinate. Get up, get in them books, educate yourself, read, and so you can be able to do what you need to do to prosper. Thank you. You all have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.